Hello, everyone. I'm Arun Ulag, and I run the Power BI engineering team here in Redmond. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Thank you so much for joining us. There's a ton going on with data these days, and there's some absolutely incredible innovation that we're bringing out with Power BI. So I'll talk about our vision, I'll talk about our strategy, I'll invite my colleagues Justina Luchnik and Łukasz Pawlowski to show you some really cool demos. Let's do this. Let's start with the Microsoft Cloud. It consists of Microsoft 365, Dynamics 365, LinkedIn, GitHub, all built on Microsoft Azure and brought together with a Power Platform. It's a comprehensive offering of connected industry-leading clouds built from the ground up to help you with your digital transformation. The breadth and depth of the Microsoft Cloud is simply unmatched by anyone in the industry. The Power Platform provides a single integrated low-code stack that helps you empower business and build entirely new applications in hours or days versus weeks or months. In a world in which things are constantly changing, the Power Platform enables you to evolve with the speed and agility as your business grows. You've heard my colleague Charles Lamanna talk about the other components of the Power Platform, including Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agent. I'm going to focus on Power BI. So with Power BI, ever since the day we got started, our focus has been to drive a data culture. We know that there's a massive amount of information out there, and being able to take advantage of all of that information and empower every single employee is critical to your competitive advantage. So with Power BI, we're really trying to empower everyone for every decision at any scale to be able to operate effectively with data. And this message is really resonating with our customers. So what you see here on the right-hand side is the actual monthly active usage of Power BI since the day we started over 5 years ago. And as you can see, it's an exponential curve. Over 260,000 organizations, pretty much in every country on planet Earth, is using Power BI today. Power BI has a massive global footprint. It's deployed in over 50 data centers around the world. It supports 43 different languages and 3 national clouds. We've really made sure that Power BI is available everywhere where our customers need it to be. One of the aspects that we're very, very proud of is the engagement and support of the Power BI community. The Power BI community today is over 1.4 million members strong. We have over 300 user groups around the world. And what it means is that as you start your journey with Power BI, you have people in your local city, in your local geography, that are also excited about Power BI, and you can connect with them, and you can engage, and you can help each other on your journey. One of the aspects that I care deeply about is the engagement and interest the community has shown in shaping the future of Power BI. Our community members have contributed over 20,000 ideas, believe it or not, onto our public site, which is at ideas.powerbi.com. And they voted more than 500,000 times. And we take a lot of their feedback very, very seriously. So my team and I take great pride in taking their votes off the table and shipping the capabilities that they care about. And as you can see, we've been hard at work. Power BI ships new features every single week in the Power BI service, and we ship a new release of Power BI Desktop every single month. And we've been doing this for over 5 years. So what you're seeing here on the screen is just the features that we've shipped in the last 12 months. All of this innovation driven by what our customers ask us to build. This pace of innovation has really never before been seen in the industry, and it really makes our customers very excited because as they decide to bet on Power BI, they know that even if we don't have a capability today, chances are it's going to be available fairly soon. And all of this has resulted in Gartner's Magic Quadrant, which just came out a couple of weeks ago, and it's rated Power BI and Microsoft furthest to the right on both axes, both in ability to execute and completeness of vision. We're really grateful for this recognition, and this is the 14th year that Microsoft Power BI has been a leader in the Gartner Magic Quadrant, and it's the 3rd year in a row where we've been farthest to the right on both axes. As a result, we're seeing that the world's largest organizations are standardizing on Power BI today. And they do that for 3 reasons. The first is industry-leading BI capabilities, and you're going to see many examples of that through my presentation today. The second is really our focus on governance and trust. Customers bring their most critical corporate data into the Power BI cloud environment, and it's critical for them to be able to govern it end-to-end and to have trust and confidence in the way we handle your data. And finally, it's simply a matter of economics. Customers tell us that Power BI is a quarter to a third of the price of legacy BI platforms. That means as customers migrate to Power BI, they can not only put BI in the hands of every single employee, but they can also save a boatload of money. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit and talk to you about where we're going with Power BI. So there's three primary areas of investment. The first is really how we empower every single individual. And this really is about providing amazing data exploration experiences. And this really is the throbbing heart of Power BI. And here we focused in two areas. The first is we want to make Power BI incredibly easy to use. So we have over 1 billion users of Office around the world today, and we want to make sure that when each one of these users come to Power BI, they feel instantly at home. We call this PowerPoint for data. What we're really trying to do is make sure in Power BI, we build on familiar experiences in Office, especially in PowerPoint and Excel. The second area is really using a lot of the AI innovation in Microsoft to be able to extract insights from data. And this is where Microsoft in many ways has an unfair advantage because we've had 2 decades of research and innovation in the AI space. In the Power BI team, we shamelessly steal all of this information, this IP, and then we build some incredibly delightful experiences focused on business users and business analysts. One of the customers we work very closely with is Rockwell Automation. Rockwell Automation is a worldwide leader in industrial automation. So I'm going to invite my colleague, Justina Luchnik, to show you how Rockwell Automation uses Power BI and many of our AI capabilities to get great insights from data. Justina, take it away.
Thank you so much, Arun. Today, I'm going to play the role of an analyst at Rockwell Automation who's building a financial report. I'm going to show you how an individual can use our AI-infused capabilities to uncover insights in the data. Here we are looking at some key metrics like our profit margins, how our sales are doing, as well as our rates of return. And so far, building out this report has been very intuitive, as I have my familiar Office ribbon at the top and the same gestures I would find in PowerPoint, for example. Things like grouping, resizing items together, and even these red snap lines you can see that help me get my visuals into place. As someone who uses Office every day, I feel right at home. To help users consume all the important information in this report, I'm going to add the Smart Narratives visual to this page. This is an AI visualization that will immediately analyze everything that is going on in my report and communicate the most important insights through natural language. For example, we can immediately see that we saw a 17% increase in units sold in the last couple of months. This smart narrative is fully customizable. I can change the colors, add a title, even add my own dynamic values. And in a few clicks, I make it a beautiful part of my report, like you can see here. Another thing that the narrative is highlighting is that it noticed that one of our business units, Compact Logics, has a high number of units sold, but it also has a very high return rate. So perhaps we should investigate this a little further. Selecting Compact Logics cross-filters all my data, but it also reruns my narrative. Now something else has caught my attention. Firstly, units sold is growing at a faster rate, with an increase of 82%. It also looks like our narrative identified there were a couple of anomalies found with our units sold in the last few months. In fact, it looks like there was even an anomaly as recently as February 10th. Now, to explore these anomalies further, I can enrich my data and visualize them on my time series itself. Now we can visibly see these anomalies and we can customize them, tweaking things like sensitivity, color, and size. My next question is, what caused these spikes in units sold so I can take some action? It's as simple as clicking on the anomaly to investigate them further and uncover that the latest spike took place in North America, and it was to do with our micro and nano product category. If I wanted to explore anomalies in a different business unit, I could select another data point and have the machine learning model rerun. Now, I also want a better understanding of my returns, and for this, I will use the decomposition tree to conduct some root cause analysis. With the decomposition tree, I can drill into my data in any order that I want. So let's start with our business unit, where we are seeing our high returns. But now there could be multiple factors associated with returns, and I'm not sure where I should drill down next. Well, all I have to do is tell Power BI that I am interested in where returns are high, and Power BI will automatically analyze all of this data and tell me where to look. It looks like our returns are highest for our infrastructure industry. And I can keep asking Power BI to help me. And in a couple of clicks, I have identified a portion of data where returns are very high, and this is probably an area I need to investigate further. If I want to see if this has always been the case, I can even look across months to see if the root cause changes across time. And we can indeed see that these explanations vary, so it looks like it's a pretty new problem. So to summarize, our smart narrative helps us identify that compact logics is growing faster than the rest of the business, although there are some unusual spikes in the trend uncovered by our anomaly detection model. Despite strong sales, we also uncovered there are higher than expected returns, but this seems isolated to products for a particular region and industry, and so I'll need to flag this up with the business. These are a couple of ways how users can create amazing data experiences in Power BI and help everyone uncover insights easily. With that, I'd like to pass back to Arun.
Thanks so much, Justina. You saw how Rockwell Automation uses many of our AI capabilities to get some incredible insights from data. Now I'm going to talk to you about the second area of investment, and this really is about how we empower every single team. And here we're focused on making sure that we can bring Power BI everywhere where insights are made. And we focused on three things here. The first is to make sure that Power BI is deeply built into your collaboration experiences. So the Power BI team and the Microsoft Teams organization work together very, very closely. Power BI is just simply built into Teams with the Power BI app, and insights are available everywhere throughout your team's experiences. This makes it very easy for teams to work together and make decisions together and collaborate with data. The second is really making sure that Power BI is integrated into your productivity applications. So we work very closely with the other teams in our office, especially with Excel. We know that Excel is the world's most popular tool for working with data, and we've worked very closely with the Excel team to make sure that the Power BI data sets are natively available in Excel, and Excel can be embedded completely in Power BI as well. So we really provide a seamless experience throughout all of Office. And the third area we're investing in to empower every team is to really help them act on insights. And here's where the Power Platform really shines. Power Apps can be embedded in Power BI. Power Automate can be embedded in Power BI so that you can really go from insight to action to automation right where your data and your insights live. To show you some of these capabilities, I'm going to invite Łukasz Pawlowski. He's going to show you how Rockwell Automation uses Power BI with Teams and Excel to advance their business forward. Łukasz, your turn now.
Thanks, Arun. I'm excited to share with you how Rockwell Automation is using Power BI in Microsoft Teams to empower their people to make better decisions. Let's take a look how Alan, a financial analyst at Rockwell, uses Teams to work with his colleagues. Alan collaborates in Teams channels and chats. The finance team has channels where analysts discuss insights they find, get help understanding the data, and make suggestions to the central reporting team to improve the reports. Power BI helps them by providing tools to find data quickly. Power BI tabs are added to channels so data like revenue and margin are readily available. Alan can search to find the reports he needs. When a colleague asks a question, Alan can quickly find and add reports to messages. The easy-to-use cards have information like the report name, the workspace it's in, which makes it easier to find the reports even during fast-paced discussions. Today, Alan sees that Megan raised a concern about gross margin. By clicking the link and opening exactly the view Megan was looking at, Alan can start to investigate without ever leaving Teams. He suspects there might be some regional variability affecting the margin numbers. Comparing 2020 to 2021, there seems to be a significant change in Brazil. By drilling to the details and using a decomposition tree, Alan finds that there's an issue with opportunity revenue. Using the Chat in Teams option, Alan quickly responds to Megan. In the coming months, we'll make sharing reports even easier. When users share a report, they'll get an Office-style sharing experience. If they have permission to reshare the report, they can quickly get a link that works for anyone in the organization. They can also get a link that works for people with existing access or even for specific people. This enhancement will bring Power BI closer to the Microsoft Office experience for sharing documents, which will make collaboration much easier for many users. Together, Alan and Megan quickly discovered and shared insights effortlessly by using Power BI within Microsoft Teams. The Power BI experiences in Teams are not just about collaboration. The new Power BI app for Teams enables Rockwell to create a data hub for their users. Rockwell pinned the Power BI app to the Teams left rail. Now everyone at Rockwell can, in one click, find the data they need alongside the chats, teams, and meetings they participate in every day. In the app, Alan sees reports he uses often, including featured and certified content that Rockwell has published. Because the data is certified, Alan knows he can trust that it's accurate and up to date, so it can be used to make important decisions. When Alan needs to find data, he opens the Datasets tab. All the Power BI datasets he has access to are listed and searchable. In the recommended datasets, he again sees those that are certified and promoted, so he knows he's using the right data for his analysis. When Alan picks a dataset, he sees the details for it, who published it, when it was refreshed, and all the related reports. He can even see where the data came from using the lineage view. He can create new reports or use Excel workbooks connected to the dataset. This ability for organizations like Rockwell to distribute official data effortlessly to all their employees directly in Microsoft Teams empowers more people to use data in every decision. Let's see how easy it is for Alan to build a pivot table to help his colleagues dig into the financial data. With just a click, he can open an Excel workbook that has a pivot table connected to the Power BI dataset. Then he drags and drops fields to build his analysis. After some formatting and adding a pivot chart, the workbook is ready to share. Now, typically, Alan shares his workbooks using OneDrive for Business or SharePoint site or a Teams channel. Traditionally, these workbooks used Excel Desktop to refresh, so Alan and his colleagues needed to download the file to see the latest data. Now let me show you something that's coming soon and we've never shown before. Alan opens the file in Excel for the web. It opens live, refreshable, connected to the Power BI dataset. This means everyone opening the file in the browser sees the latest data. But it goes further. In the web browser or embedded in Teams, users can make changes to the Power BI connected pivot tables. This runs new queries against the Power BI dataset and returns the relevant data. These connected workbooks can even be added to Power BI. Authors can make apps that bring together Power BI reports and Excel workbooks. In Power BI, the workbooks are interactive, and consumers can explore the data to answer their own questions. The ability to quickly refresh data, no matter if you're using Power BI or Excel in the web, helps users save time over manual export-based workflows and helps users use the latest, most accurate data to make decisions. Today, we saw how Power BI in Microsoft Teams enables individuals to collaborate more effectively and bring data into more decision-making, and enables organizations to distribute data to everyone. And now, back to you, Arun.
Thank you so much, Mukesh. That was a really good demo. So you saw how Rockwell Automation is able to get all of their insights right where they collaborate and use either Power BI or Excel to get the insights exactly the way they want them. So the third area of investment for us is one that we know that IT organizations care deeply about. This is about how we empower every organization with modern enterprise BI. And there's really two categories of investments here. The first is governance, and the second is scalability. In the area of governance, we have a lot of capabilities that we provide our customers, but for today, I just want to focus on one, which is around trust and compliance. And we know that the way you secure data and the way you drive trust is critically important for customers because they're bringing their most critical business data to Power BI. And this is where I feel like Power BI has added so many capabilities that customers really value. In many ways, a lot of the BI industry is still stuck in the old world, where you think about security simply as permissions-based access, role-level security, or object-level security. In a world in which it's cloud-first and remote everything, that's simply not enough. And here's where Power BI's capabilities are very, very comprehensive. Just a couple of weeks ago, we made a major announcement talking about all of our security capabilities end-to-end. It starts with data residency. It's very important for customers to know where their data lives and be able to pin it to a specific geography. Data residency goes hand in hand with certifications. And this is where customers really require us to make sure that we're compliant with certifications that are required for their geography or their industry. And here, Power BI is really very, very far ahead. We support 119 different certifications that support different international compliance standards, as well as 34 certifications that are industry specific. So regardless of the industry or geography, you're going to check if Power BI supports it. It's most likely that's the case, and demand that you have that level of certification before you choose your BI vendor. The third is network security. When your data lives in the cloud, the way you secure your network is very, very important. Power BI provides a host of capabilities there that provide the right level of network isolation and the right level of access with service tags, private links, VNets, and TLS 1.2 support. Data encryption is also critically important for customers. We support a capability called Bring Your Own Key, which allows you to bring your own encryption key to Microsoft and to Power BI, and we encrypt the data with your key. So the moment you withdraw the key, even Power BI cannot read your information. And the last really is data loss prevention. In a world in which people are working remotely, this data is going to be accessed everywhere. Power BI is the only BI platform in the industry with native support for Microsoft information protection as well as Microsoft Cloud App Security, which means that if people export your data, if your employees export your data out of Power BI into PowerPoint, Excel, or PDF, which is a very, very common scenario, you can rest assured that the MIP label will pass on from Power BI to those Office documents, securing the data even as it leaves Power BI. That, in a world of remote work, is something that customers care deeply about. So we talked a lot about the security capabilities in Power BI. Now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about scalability. And again, we have a host of capabilities here that allow Power BI to scale to massive data volumes and provide incredible response times. Power BI can work with data no matter where it lives, with over 150 connectors that are just simply built out of the box. However, if you happen to use Power BI with Azure Synapse Analytics, we do a lot of work between Power BI and Synapse to make it an incredibly effective experience for you. First, Power BI is just simply built into the Synapse IDE. So if you're building your data warehouse, you can visualize your data, you can build your reports right there. The second is we take our data protection with Microsoft Information Protection even further upstream. Synapse is the only data warehouse where you can apply a MIP label to a table, and when Power BI connects to that table, it inherits that label, and it displays it when you're looking at your Power BI data, and it pushes the label into your Office documents when you take the data out of Power BI into PowerPoint, Excel, or PDF. And that's really, really important because the protection travels with your data from the data warehouse all the way through Power BI and to Office. The third really is end-to-end monitoring. We work closely with the Synapse team to make sure that we get the telemetry into your own log analytics instance. And by looking at the telemetry between Power BI and Synapse, you can understand exactly what's going on with performance and where you need to drive your optimizations. And the last is really performance acceleration. We've built a machine learning model that ships in Synapse. And what this machine learning model does is it looks at the Power BI telemetry, looks at the queries coming from Power BI, and builds the materialized views in Synapse that provide an optimal performance by shortening the query path. And this is very, very important because you can do something similar with other platforms, but for you to do that, you have to do it manually. You have to get an expensive data engineer to spend weeks of effort analyzing telemetry to build those materialized views. Here, we actually use a machine learning model, and we completely automate the end-to-end process. So if you're using Power BI, Synapse is a really good option for you. If you're using Synapse, Power BI is an incredible option for you as well. The final thing I wanted to talk to you about today is Power BI Premium, which we introduced a little over 3 years ago. Power BI Premium provides some incredibly differentiated capabilities for our customers, and it really helps you do things that you could never do in any BI system. For example, you can build automated machine learning models directly in Power BI with just drag and drop experiences. It's just built in. You can analyze text and images with cognitive services, again, just built in. You can prepare data at high volume with visual experiences, again, just built in into Power BI, sophisticated data preparation capability. We support deployment pipelines, so you can take a Power BI project, again, through drag and drop experiences from dev to test to production. We support the ability to have pixel-perfect paginated reports that are precisely formatted with the right headers, the right footers, and it can be sent to your mailbox or sent to the printer. Just built into Power BI. It's using the same technology used in SQL Server reporting services. We provide an XMLA endpoint, which means that the data sets and the business logic you build into Power BI can not just be used to build Power BI reports, can be used in Excel, can be used in any other XMLA-compliant BI solution, of which there are dozens today. We also support massive data volumes, so you can build data sets in Power BI that can go up to 400 gigabytes in size. And remember, this is compressed data, so that's 10 to 20x compression, 4 terabytes of data in memory in a single Power BI data set. Incredible value, just part of Power BI Premium. And the last is advanced security, so the ability to bring your own key, which we also already talked about. Customers are incredibly excited about Premium Gen 2, so let's hear from some of them. Please roll the video.
Power BI Premium Gen 2 is here. It's a new and improved set of feature and architectural updates to our industry-leading solution, including flexibility to license per user or per capacity, faster processing, up to 16 times performance boost with Microsoft Managed Architecture, automatically adding capacity when needed with auto-scale, and consistent and reliable cost management with utilization metrics. And now we're excited to announce that Premium Gen 2 per user will be generally available April 2021.
So you saw all of the excitement from our customers for Premium Gen 2. Now, we've had one request since the day we launched Premium. Premium's available at $5,000 per P1 capacity. However, customers have always asked us to bring the price of Premium to a per-user level. I'm excited to announce today that Premium per user will become generally available on April 2nd, and it's available for just $20 per user per month. All of those incredible capabilities just available for $20 per user per month. So that's it. Hopefully you got a sense of how we're trying to help you drive a data culture, how we're trying to empower every single person in your organization, empower every team, and empower all of you. There's a number of other exciting sessions here at Ignite. I encourage you to check them out. Have a wonderful event.